Novel, Hail the King. Chapter 2, The Idiot Became a Madman. Angela held on tight to the edge of the bed, her mind anxiously racing as worry filled her widened eyes. Poor Alexander, I hope the fall didn't damage his brain. Although he wasn't very bright before, at least he could talk. At the moment, a loud, arrogant echoed from beyond the doorway. Alexander. I heard that you were injured. A grimace flickered across the girls' faces as they turned towards the source of the sound. The voice drew the tone out as if to mockingly be concerned. Is everything all right? Faye looked up and noticed that a well-dressed, chubby man had barged through the doors to the palace bedroom. An icy laugh slipped between his crooked lips. Gil, what are you doing here? Angela said coldly. Faye felt the tension between the shady, obese newcomer and the beauty beside him. It was clear that they were not on good terms. Angela, my angel, whatever do you mean? I heard my dear friend Alexander got injured and was worried. What's wrong with me coming by to check up on him? The fat noble casually walked up and sat right on a side of the bed as if it was his own. Gil, what are you doing? How dare you to sit on the bed of the king? Emma angrily exclaimed. Gil shot a look at Emma. Lust and malice flashed through his eyes. He licked his thick, sausage-like lips and retorted. Shut up, you low-class slave. Don't say anything that you'll regret. He then leisurely turned around and glanced at Faye. The expression was not someone showing empathy for an injured friend, but more like the gloating of looking at an injured animal. Faye was looking at Gil at the same time. He felt the scorn, malice, and sarcasm in Gil's eyes. Gil was not hiding his feelings even a little bit. Faye was confused. Is this ugly meatball really Alexander's friend? His face has so many chins, yet he's brave enough to show that mess to even the king. Does he have a strong family background as well? As Faye was thinking, Gil started to squish Faye's face with his oily hands as if it was a toy. The move was so natural that it seemed like Gil has done it thousands of times. Alexander, looks like you are fine, haha. I have a few important guests this afternoon to host, so how about you come with me? Gil was smiling, but the tone at which he said it was not like an invitation but a command. He squished Faye's face a little bit more, and slapped it a little. Gil loved this feeling. Treating the king like a pet. He then started thinking out loud about how was it possible that someone like Alexander became the king. He has a 3-year-old's intelligence at the age of 17, yet why does the god love him so much that he gave him the throne? When Gil was enjoying himself, something unexpected happened. Gil covered up his left cheek with his hand. A vivid red hand mark had appeared on his cheek just like paint being flung onto an abstract painting. His expression was the textbook definition of shock. Both Angela and Emma had felt uncomfortable when Gil appeared, but the slap had shocked them as well. They couldn't believe what they saw. Alexander had always acted meek and cowardly, and thus he had always been picked on by Gil, due to his unwillingness to fight back. He just smacked Gil's face. Did that actually just happen? Although it was shocking, they were thrilled. They had tolerated Gil for a long time. How? How dare you?
Fag, if you touch me again with your disgusting hand, I'm gonna shove my foot up your a-hole. Faye said.
Gil had made Faye very frustrated, and Faye was not a gentle person when dealing with people that make him upset. Gil shoved a fat sausage finger at Faye and screamed. He was so mad that all the fat on his body was shaking, as if he was a Parkinson-inflicted pudding. How dare you slap me, you bastard? Gil yelled again and again. Faye didn't respond. He was trying to push his body up. How dare he yell at the palace? Faye was perplexed. None of the king's guards showed up like they were supposed to. Could he really be someone that important that a king can't punish? As Faye was thinking, Gil had made a mad decision. He pounced at Faye, seeming like he wanted revenge. Stop it. Angela commanded, Gil, you are just the son of a minister, how dare you do such a thing? No matter what Angela was shouting, nothing affected Gil as he kept his eyes locked on Faye. Angela and Emma tried their best to protect Faye by pulling on Gil's robes. However, there was no way the both of them were any match for Gil. Frustrated, Gil slapped Emma across her face. The force sent her back a couple yards. Her pretty face was swelling up on the cheek as tears filled her eyes. Gil grabbed Angela by her wrist next and pulled her towards him. He lowered his head onto Angela's neck. He sniffed a couple times enjoyably and pervertedly said, Beautiful Angela, this retarded Alexander is never going to be good enough for you. Look at him, he doesn't resemble anything of a king. He had made a mess of Chambord Kingdom after just inheriting the throne. Angela, how about becoming my woman? He was holding tight onto Angela's wrist. The warm and smooth sensation of her body broke down the last bit of his reasoning. He forgot he was inside the king's palace, and Angela was the future queen. In the momentum that came from his loss of sanity, he tried to kiss Angela's lips forcefully. Suddenly, a metal helmet kissed his forehead instead. But with that amount of force, it was more like a smack of a hammer. This attack was so sudden that Gil didn't even see it coming. Surprised at the blood gushing out of the wound, he screamed as he fell back and let go of Angela's wrist. Angela once again witnessed something that she thought wouldn't happen in this lifetime and was speechless. As Faye picked up the helmet off the ground, he sneered, "How dare you touch my woman, you fat bastard? How dare you touch the king? I'm gonna beat you until you become quadriplegic or, I swear to God, I'm not the king." He was feeling better as he swore, thinking to himself, "Man, I was scared by this fat tub of lard. I thought he was some important figure, but it turned out that he is just the son of a minister. I can mess him up any day of the week." It was dead silent in the royal bedroom. They could hear the sound of a needle dropping onto the ground. Although there were already many times Faye's actions had shocked both Angela and Emma, this time, they sensed that something was different. It is not possible. How could it be? They stared at Faye. It feels like the 17-year-old retard Alexander who listened to Gil all the time has changed. Gil was lying motionless on the floor. His mind was blank. He sensed that Alexander's personality has changed too much. Faye's actions in Alexander's body had scared Gil, due to how out of character it was. That blow from the helmet was full of power and felt as though Faye was actually trying to kill him. After a couple seconds, he calmed down. He thought about why he came to the palace today and he decided to give it all he's got.
He lifted his left hand and a strange and mysterious spell rolled off of his tongue. A ball of fire was forming upon his hand and a burning sensation was filling the whole palace.
Gil forgot how he felt earlier and suddenly became a lot braver. He mocked at Faye, "You, the king. Ha. Except yourself, who do you think considers you as our king in the entire Chambord kingdom? How dare you hit me?" Alexander, prepare to feel the wrath of a prestige mage.
Faye was still posing in a brave posture trying to impress Angela and Emma. But when he saw the fireball forming, his pupil contracted a little. Mage. Holy shit, this dumb fucker is a mage? Looks like he's got some skills. What should I do? Man, I shouldn't have made that decision under impulse. If I knew this, I would have tried to talk him out of it rather than using force.
Faye was trying to think of a solution to this hot mess. He looked at the burning fireball on Gil's hand, and the dented helmet in his hand and thought, what the hell is this? If we are going to fight, at least give me a sword or some sort of weapon. He thought for a few seconds and started yelling, "Guards! Guards! Assassins! Someone is trying to assassinate me. That's no use." Gil laughed as he flicked his hand and the red-hot projectile flew toward Faye's face like a bullet.